Hello and welcome to another episode of Voice in the Desert. My name is Ariel. I'm back with a continuation of the subject we've been talking now for the past two podcasts, which is perseverance. I'll be reading today from Romans chapter 5, verses 3 to 5, and I'll be reading from the Christian Standard Version. It states, "And not only that, but we also boast in our afflictions, because we know that affliction produces endurance. Endurance produces proven character, and proven character produces hope. This hope will not disappoint us, because God's love has been poured out in our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has given it to us." So it's interesting that this text that we're reading here, it talks about afflictions. And I find it interesting because nowadays that's something that is not the popular thing to talk about. Like, people don't want to talk about afflictions. What is affliction? Suffering. People just don't want to talk about that. That's like a no-no. That's like, can we change the subject? Can we go and talk about something else? Not suffering. No, we don't do suffering. We don't go through suffering. Yet here Paul starts off with that not only that, but we also boast in our afflictions. Now, granted, the afflictions that the Christians were living back in the days in the first century are not to be even compared to the ones that we're doing now. I mean, they were suffering way worse. I mean, they were using them as basically lighting the city when Nero went crazy. So they burned them and used them as light to light up the city, as torches, human torches, if you will. And they were being persecuted. They were being hunted down. They were being killed. And Paul, also persecuted, also being hunted down, and eventually was killed, says that we have to boast in our afflictions. Now, I'm not going to pretend that we're going to be living the life exactly as Paul and the disciples back then, but I'm pretty sure that we do go as believers, as people who believe in God, go through afflictions. And we go through points in our lives that we question things, that we start questioning it, like, is all this real? Is this just something that was made up? Or am I doing this for real? Is this for real? Like, what is the truth in this? What is real? And you start questioning things. You start asking, like, what's with all this? I'm not 100% sure. That's somewhat where I went through, a space and time that I went through in my growth with my faith. If you would have asked me these questions 4 or 5 years ago, I would have told you, like, I don't know what I believe. I have no idea what I believe. Because 4 or 5 years ago, I was spiritually dead. I mean, I was a practicing Christian only exterior. Like, if you asked me, I would have said, yeah, I'm a Christian. But actually living it out, no. I dropped the towel. I was just, bench warming, going to church, but going through the motions, but I wasn't really there. Just I accepted that there was a belief in God, but other than that, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And the moment that I was fighting that, I was like going through stuff. There was a lot of things going through, and then all of a sudden you come to a realization that you have to make a choice, that you have to change your destiny, because you were used to just living in one country, and then all of a sudden an opportunity comes in that you have to switch countries, and not only that, you gotta have to leave your kid and your wife alone while you make this journey. Mind you, I left my daughter when she was 10, not even 10 yet, about to become 10. She was 9 years old, and I had to take that. And that was just the surface level of what was going on, and that's something that I was going through a lot of suffering and pain. But then also I was wrestling with all the other stuff that was going on inside of me, all the other stuff that was not good in me, and I had to wrestle with it. I had to fight it, and in that darkness that I was, and it was affliction, it was torture, it was pain, unimaginable pain, pain that I've never in my life had experienced before. In that struggle, I had to dig deep and come into the realizations of all the buried skeletons in my closet, and come into the realization of all the things that I've been putting on hold, procrastination, a bunch of things that I was just like, just not being there, not being present, not paying attention to it. And by doing so, I realized that I have become a slacker. Now, by that reference that I just throw you right there, I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 24, verses 30 to 34, which states, I went by the field of a slacker, and by the vineyard of one lacking sense. Thistles had come up everywhere, weeds covered the ground, and the stone wall was ruined. I saw and took it to heart. I looked and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the arms to rest, and poverty will come like a robber, and your need like a bandit. What does that mean? That means that if you ignore your life, if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, if you're not intentional about what you're supposed to do in your walk as a Christian, mostly, there's going to be some unnecessary pain that you go through. Now, pain is necessary in life because pain is what teaches you what not to do or what to avoid, or also to grow, to be better. Pain is a necessary thing in life. But to be a slacker, to be someone that's just, it is what it is. I profess to be a Christian, but I'm not going to do anything about it. You're going to go through some pain in life that it was just that you could have avoided. And that's why in my church, when I teach, I always say, choose your pain. You get, you can get to choose the type of pain that you can endure. Pain, you have to endure pain. Pain is just a package deal in life. You cannot avoid it. It's part of the deal. And at some points we even have to boast when we are afflicted, as Paul was reading when we were reading earlier in Romans. But when you just slack off and don't want to do anything, like I was, because I'm not trying to present myself here like I'm the total package in Christianity. I'm still learning stuff. I'm still growing. I'm still learning to discern things. I second guess myself all the time. My prayer daily is, God, examine my heart. Examine my heart. I don't want to. I don't. I'm tired of being a phony. I'm tired of living a fake life, because I've always said that I've never been good enough to be a Christian, and I've never been bad enough to be someone that is not a Christian. So I've always been staying there in the middle. And in this particular thing, we're not be called to be in the middle. We either one thing or the other. We can't be both. Two objects cannot occupy the same space. So by going back to the reading in Proverbs, we got some maintenance to do. We got some stuff to remove in our lives. We got some stuff to take away from our lives in order to grow in God, in order to give God the glory, in order to make sure that God is sovereign in our lives. So when we decide to go through and endure the affliction, then that affliction produces endurance because we have to take it. Boy, I can tell you the pain that I felt in those 4 years waiting for my wife and daughter, the sleepless nights, crying myself to sleep. It was pain unimaginable. And now, having gone through the other side, I can tell you it was worth it. And I'm thankful for that pain because that pain helped me push through what I thought at that point was a no-win situation, that I didn't see the light in the end of the tunnel, that I didn't see a win. Because all my life I was just chasing that easy way out. I was always chasing the easy exit or the cheat code from jumping from A to Z. And when I see Z, I don't mean the A, B, C. I mean Z as in zebra. Like just jump to the end. And there are no cheat codes in Christianity. You got to go through it. And when you try to avoid that path, it just becomes harder. So when you go through affliction, it produces endurance. Now, endurance produces proven character. Once you endure, once you go through stuff, it builds up character in you. It builds up something that you did not know before. Like there's things that are in me that have woken up these past few years that I didn't know existed in me. I can actually say I'm becoming a disciplined person, which would have been an oxymoron. Like you would have Googled my face or my name and search discipline, it would be like no match, no match. But now it's like I'm discovering like I'm a disciplined cat because I'm pursuing spiritual disciplines and now even translating it to other disciplines as well. So it is producing character in me. This pain make me endure, and that endurance has made character in me. And this character, says here, produces hope. This hope will not disappoint us. Why it produces hope? Because it now teaches you that you are aiming towards a right direction because now this character has some backbone into it because you have endured something. And how do you go through all this? Because remember, this is God. You can't remove all these steps without God. That God is the central figure of all this. I'm not super Christian and I'm not the best example. Like if I'm telling you right now, don't look at me. Don't look at me as an example. Just listen to what I'm saying. As a person that was a failure, a farce, that never really truly lived up to Christian standard, am I doing it now? I hope to God that it's a better example than I was like 5, 6 years ago. Because 5, 6 years ago it was non-existent. It was non-existent. Now I'm in a spot that I'm fighting every day with my flesh, with my desires, my will. But I have developed a discipline and a character now that I'm like, okay, this is difficult. This is hard. I don't like it. But you know what? It is what it is. We go through it. We go through it. And the difference here in this hope that I have now is that I know this hope won't disappoint me because God's love has been poured out in our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has given it to us. The Holy Spirit is guiding me. The Holy Spirit is giving me strength to endure. And I've endured a lot. Maybe not more than most. Maybe more people out there have endured worse things than I have. Probably to dare to say 99.9% of people on this planet have gone through worse things than I have. Granted. But you only have to go through it a few times. Like, how many times will you get tired of failing? How many times will you get tired of just screwing up? How many times? Give me a digit. Give me a number. Once you do that, what are you prepared to do? Are you just going to lick your wounds and fall, let it happen again and again and again, or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to do something about it? Proverbs 24:16, and with this I will begin to conclude. Though a righteous person falls 7 times, he will get up, but the wicked will stumble into ruin. I'm going to read it again. Though a righteous person falls 7 times, he will get up, but a wicked will stumble into ruin. The key word here first is righteous person. Who's a righteous person? Well, a person that trusts God. Not that because they're righteous in itself. Our righteousness comes from Christ. Our righteousness comes from God. So when a righteous person, a person that trusts God, fails or falls 7 times, and it's not that it's a specific number, it's indicating perfection. Like you're being perfected, so you're going to fall. You're going to mess up. The thing is not the falling part. That the falling part, everybody does that. The thing is, he will get up. Get up. Get up. And let's end it there. Hope this was edifying in some way. Hope it is a blessing to all you. So God bless.